There's like 4 people in line for the TSA security check. Surprisingly, there is almost no one at the airport at only like 9 p.m. So we'll see how it goes. Airport is very empty. All my first travel footage will be recorded on just the iPhone, so sorry for the shaking and the bad audio. I got handed like some extra paperwork to fill out in line, asking if I've been to Italy, France, Germany, Iran, any of those countries in the past 14 days. That's new. They just checked my temperature. And I guess if it's below or above a certain point, then they won't let me onto the plane. Also, when I arrive, my temperature will be checked again, they said. If it is too high or too low there, then I will be stuck there or not let into the country, I think in quarantine. So if that's the case, hopefully they provide a flight back. So they checked the temperature on my forehead multiple times and it came up a bit low. So I had to wait and check it again. But then they checked it on my wrist and it all checked out well. So I'm gonna be able to get on the plane. Got my mask, got protective gloves. I got a 100 pack of these tiny alcohol wipes. And then right here, I have rubbing alcohol in a tiny 2-ounce spray bottle. Although many of the cases have been rising in Japan, it seems that 80% of the people infected, as I've read, have not infected anyone else because they have been isolated cases from travel or cruise ships. Many of the flights had been canceled, and after traveling often for about 2 years, I had never seen the airport this empty before. It's crazy, there's like nobody here. No line or anything. I've never seen this. I don't even really know where to go. There's like 4 people in line for the TSA security check. I hope they let me bring my rubbing alcohol spray. People have on like gas masks and like actual hazmat suits. Kind of wild. All went well and I boarded the aircraft. It was China Air. And there were a lot of differences this time. When they provided food, it was all disposable, all in a box, almost like a quarantine sort of meal. And very good still. Oh, I got a hole in my glove, which was not the best. They had a lot of water, but that was the only drink available at the time. And they had these kind of sausages wrapped up, and candy and some bread, which was not bad, actually. I kind of enjoyed it. It was kind of like white sweet bread that I hadn't really had in America before, but when I ate it, like, you know, it was solid, tasty, and a lot of free water. About every 30 minutes, a flight attendant would come around and check everyone's temperature to make sure that they were doing fine. Again, for our second meal, everything was disposable, nothing that they couldn't throw away after. They gave us some bean paste drink right there, some more sausages, candy, tangerine, and some bread, and of course a ton of free water. It was all very different from every other time I've flown with this airline. And when I arrived in China, we were greeted with people in hazmat suits and gas masks that came with some kind of disinfectant to spray all over the suitcases that came out of the airplane. And that was the experience that I had in most of the China airport, is hazmat suits and barricades, almost like an apocalypse. I have been to China before for work, and it is a beautiful place, and I did enjoy even seeing it for a short time, but it was empty.
Of outbreak, such as Japan, Republic of Korea, Italy, Iran, within 14 days. Please inform or tag attendants immediately.
They're not giving out the free headphones, so I just have to watch the movie with subtitles along. So, not that bad. All the food and drink was like disposable snacks. And then for all the drinks, they just handed out water bottles, but a lot of water bottles. And my connecting flight might be getting changed because of quarantine, so I'll check in with that now. All of the airport employees had gas masks and hazmat suits on when I arrived. They were taking everyone's temperature when we passed through customs, and they also told me no photos, but I kind of took some anyway. My transfer flight from China to Japan was still available, just barely, so I hustled to make it there, and there was no one around. So on the bus now to the airplane, only 2 other people here. So after customs, they literally removed a barricade through to the transfer flight. And a lot of people told me to go back until one of the workers said that I was allowed through. It was bizarre. But really, everyone was very helpful and kind. So I was the only one in line for customs. I was the only one in line for the transfer. Not only that, once I got my tickets cleared for the transfer, they had to move away like a barricade, and behind it was all these people in like hazmat suits, really just kind of relaxing, laying around. And when I walked through, they were all kind of surprised. They told me to go back until someone else kind of led me and ushered me through, and now I'm on a bus to, I hope a bus to the airplane, because it leaves in 10 minutes. No one is here. Aside from what I'm sure is about 4 people, the whole airplane was empty, and I felt so grateful that I made it on time and that the flight was still available. It's only about a 2-hour flight from China to Japan, and I was really glad that I made it on time for work. It was crazy seeing China so empty, and it was nice for a short-time visit, but I was so glad that I made it onto the plane. It was such a crazy experience seeing an airport almost kind of like a war zone, is what it felt like. Arrived in Japan, and it is so bizarre. There's nobody else here except for all the employees, so every time I have to fill out like an immigration card or a customs form, there are like 4 people surrounding me asking me like if I need help, or like walking me down the correct place. It's a ghost town, it's kind of spooky. But no lines, and that's very nice actually. And everyone's been so nice. So there were about 4 suitcases on the plane, and they lost mine. But I'm not even mad because they had the whole team on board trying to help me find it, filling out the forms with me, and they just all walked me right through the exit, and that was my trip through China to Japan during the corona pandemic. Not too bad. There were a lot of changes in Japan because of coronavirus. For one, a lot of stores made a takeout option for their food, so that you can take food home instead of eating in a restaurant that might be crowded. Most shops are not allowed to sell alcohol past 6 p.m. and most bars and clubs are closed. There is hand sanitizer sold at many places. Here is hand sanitizer with masks as well. And outside of many stores, they'll have hand sanitizer for you to sanitize your hands before you enter the store. They have some right there also. Every convenience store will also have hand sanitizer as well as hand wipes. This one even has the pineapple pen guy on it right there. Very cool.